Hello, and welcome to the new era. The year is 2115. Mankind has been driven to ruin and come back from the brink over the last century, with only a global population just over 2 billion people. The Great Third War of 2045 lasted for 6 years, nearly wiping out 80% of the Earth's population. In 2052, the top officials from each of the remaining pillars of traditional power formed a new sacred organization, Olympus. An organization that would pull together the levers of power in world events for the decades to come. Around 2055, Olympus discovered some hidden power technology in the form of an advanced eye, operating in joint faculties through the world, acting as an old interconnected network. Olympus adopted this tech into their new eye, Athena, as a means of organizing the knowledge of the old world and its infrastructure, while still advancing humanity forward. The next few decades of recovery that followed forced mankind to learn from the mistakes of the past and rebuild itself from the ruins. And for new global governments would emerge, installing a more authoritarian version of their principal social structures. The 4 new major global governments or empires that emerged from this were New America, Federated States of Europe, United Empire of Russia, and the Grand Show Republic of China. Traveling to space had always remained a dream of men. 5 years before the Great War of 2035, mankind had managed to finally acquire the technology to travel to Mars. Many countries talked about setting up a colony as a backup mission for mankind in the days leading up to the war. After the ruin and casualties caused by the end of the war, space travel became less of a priority, until the 2070s when the 4 world governments under Olympus decided that setting up space colonies on other planets was the only way to ensure mankind's prolonged survival. After decades of research and development, mankind had succeeded in launching a spacecraft, with the capability of transporting to another galaxy in 2090. The crew was supposed to return from their mission in the year 2100. However, they lost contact with the crew shortly in 2097. In 2110, 4 separate meteors crashed into each of the empirical nations. 1 meteor landed in each of the territories of the New World powers. Upon investigation, it is discovered these meteors are actually space-traveling containers for strange humanoid beings of alien origins. Reclassified and kept secret from the public, each empire with goodings from Olympus. Reclassified and kept secret from the public, each empire with goodings from Olympus. Upon the discovery and retrieval of the alien beings, the procedure agreed upon by the world governments at the time was in their best interest to use the experimental containment mechanized biological armor in order to contain the alien specimen. This experimental biological armor technology would later become the test prototype for the Artemis project. Though meant to contain the alien specimens, the beings eventually learned to merge their biological structures to the mechanized containment units, making it an extension of their own biological structure and enhance their own abilities. 5 years after their arrival on Earth, the alien entities all of a sudden go active. This results in the alien beings destroying the faculties they were being contained in, killing a large amount of people in the faculties and the region around it. The status and location of each of the alien entities is currently unknown and requires further investigation. Olympus had planned that an occurrence like this might happen, preparing a proper countermeasure just in case. In a panic, the world governments requested help from the top-secret organization Olympus, in order to prevent any further massacres from occurring. Thus, Olympus decides to send in a protagonist, one is equipped in the new experimental Artemis suit. Artificially regulated tech for elimination, maintenance and infiltration system.